You haven't got control over yourself at all.
The human brain cannot comprehend the negative. It is incapable.
So your mind is playing a game of chicken with you. And its secret weapon is that it knows that boredom will control you. And the more that you use your cell phone, the more that you take a dump and browse Reddit at the same time, the more dopaminergic stuff that you do, the more intolerant to boredom you become.
You can't tell the human brain not to do something, right? And so what happens is we very often reinforce things when we put things in the negative, right? I can't get apart.
Your attention, for example, is mediated by unconscious forces. And you know that perfectly well. And this is another Freudian observation. You know, if you're sitting down to study, for example, your conscious intent is to study. But you know perfectly well that all sorts of distraction fantasies are going to enter the theater of your imagination non-stop and annoyingly. And there isn't really a lot you can do about that except maybe wait it out.
You sit and really pay attention to your mind. What you'll notice is that your mind is incredibly slippery. And it'll come up with whatever excuse it can to keep you from doing what it doesn't want to do. And your mind knows it's a waiting game.
You know, so you'll be sitting there reading and your attention will flicker away. You'll think about, I don't know, maybe you want to watch Jane the Virgin on Netflix or something like that, or maybe it's time to have a peanut butter sandwich, or you should get the dust bunnies out from underneath the bed, or it's time to go outside and have a cigarette, or maybe it's time for a cup of coffee.
If your mind doesn't want to work, that's okay. We don't need to work. If you can't focus, no big deal. We're just going to sit here and do nothing for the next 8 hours. And whenever you're ready to work, we can do that. But if you don't want to work, no big deal. We can take a nap. If you're feeling tired, oh, you're tired, let's go lay down. It works incredibly well. Incredibly well.
You know, so what you've done is practice certain habits, whatever they might be, let's call them bad habits, and you like those things to get under control, but you can't. So maybe when you're speaking, for example, you use like and you know, and you say a lot. And you've practiced that, so you're really good at it, and you'd like to stop it, but you don't get to, because you've built that little machine right into your being, right? It's neurologically wired, and it's not under conscious control, and anything you practice becomes that. It becomes part of you.
So if you want to learn how to focus, what you've got to do is like practice focusing. And the way that you practice focusing is you keep doing it until your mind starts listening.
If you go through trees on skis and you go, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, guess what you're watching? You're only looking at trees. All you're doing is seeing trees. You don't understand how anyone can ski with all these trees, right? As opposed to follow the snow, follow the path, follow the path. The only thing you see is the path. Skiers know this. If you say don't hit a tree, you'll hit a tree. You won't be able to find a path because all you see is millions of trees. If you say only follow the path, you actually don't see any trees. There's actually very sparse trees. There's plenty of path, there's plenty of snow. It's the same thing for you. If you focus on the obstacles, all you will see is obstacles.